everyone, it's Melanie here with Vintage Hill Studio. I'm so glad you dropped by today. I will be doing a very simple Christmas card featuring the Momenta Merry Christmas and wreath, and this is what it looks like. These are the papers I will be using, and here is a close-up look on that die set. So this little die set has a couple of boughs of branches here. You can see you've got that on the outside packaging. I'll start with these leaves and we will get started right away here. So I'll be using a very dark green for this daintier leaf and a lighter green cardstock for this bigger leaf, and I'll be cutting 2 of each one of those. So I will go over to my Sizzix Big Shot and get these cut out. They're a bit intricate, so I run this through a few times just to make sure I have a good die cut. And I'll remove those from my paper, and then I simply kind of wiggle the cardstock to pop out that die cut. Again, I will be cutting 2 of each of these leaf boughs. Alright, get those set aside there, and I'll move on to my poinsettia. Now you can see I'm using a dark and a light red, and I'm just stacking those on top of each other. And then the gold color is for the center of the poinsettia. And I'll get those little dies run through my Sizzix Big Shot. You can see the little dots fell out and the bigger one is still in my die, and I'll get that set aside here just 1 second. It comes right out as I remove my washi tape, and there it is. They're just tiny little pieces. And then of course my double poinsettia here, one out of the dark red and one out of the light red, and I was able to cut those in one pass through the Sizzix Big Shot. So moving on to the Merry Christmas script. This is a very beautiful little font included in this die set. And it's a little tricky. It does have some intricacy to it, so you can see I have to fiddle a little bit with getting this removed from the main piece of cardstock. And then I will just wiggle this again to get rid of the middle piece, and then bring over my Spellbinder's Tool-in-One to poke through those little pieces in the middle of some of the letters. And that is it. All of our die cutting is done, so we're ready to move on to the card. Now all the supplies and dimensions for this card can be found on my card blog at vintagehillstudio.com, so I hope you'll come over and visit me, and feel free to subscribe. That way you'll get a notice about each weekly video. So here I'm using a liquid adhesive to adhere this mat onto my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. Get that smushed down with my brayer. I like to store my glue upside down in an old cup there off to the side. It keeps the glue down in the tip ready to go. Now I'm using my grid mat to help me determine where the middle of this card base is. And the reason for that is that I want to center this wreath. And since it's in 2 parts, I'm going to use my tape markers as the point of the beginning and end of each one of these leaf boughs, like this. Okay, now you can see I'm just adding little dots of glue to these leaves. That's all I need to position this on the front of my card. You don't need a whole lot of glue. And I prefer using a liquid adhesive because you can see this allows me to make minor adjustments. Alright, now on to the darker little leaf bough. Now I'm offsetting these. I don't want the ends of each of these boughs to line up, so I've got the first 2, going left and right, and now this one is going top to bottom. Okay, you can see how quickly this card comes together. Now after I get the second dark leaf bough positioned on my wreath, I will be able to remove my washi tape and continue with the design of my card. I love this little gold background because it's very simple and it lets the wreath stand out. If I chose a busier pattern, I think my wreath would get lost. So that's why I chose that mat. Now I'm simply taking a bone folder, and on one layer of the poinsettia, I curled the leaves under, and then I'll take my ball stylus and go around and curl it up in the middle. So the tips of my poinsettia are pointing down and the center is concave, are going to the inside. And then I simply offset that with the darker red beneath it, and I'll add the little golden center. Okay, there's the big piece, and then these 3 little dots. I'll bring over my jewel picker and help me lift those up and place them onto the adhesive. And there is our finished and dimensional poinsettia. And that, I like to put this at the bottom of my wreath. I know the packaging shows it at the top. You could make several poinsettias, you can make one, you could add all kinds of different dimension to your card, even using other die cuts. But I just love these colors together, the 2 greens, the 2 reds, and then this ivory colored cardstock for the scripty Merry Christmas that goes with the background of my card base. And I'll set that at an angle, and that finishes this cute little card. I love that it has that little pop of dimension on the poinsettia. Here is a lined envelope to coordinate with our card. You can go over and visit my card blog or my YouTube channel at Vintage Hill Studio and see how to make easy peasy lined envelopes for your cards. It's so quick, like a 2-minute process. So hop over there and visit me if you would like. Please give me a thumbs up, feel free to subscribe, and I hope to see you again next week. Happy crafting, everyone!